at some point and food energy at some other point? Do I stop every minute and then buy when as and when it is needed? Or do I buy all of them in the beginning and hope that they will survive to where they are needed? And if I assume that I'm the only guy in the car and I'm self-disciplined and I won't just keep eating, okay, I can buy all of them up front and then be sure that they will be available when I need them. Whereas if I also have, my teenage son, then negative interactions. He'll eat them up before we leave the area. And so I have to buy them again. Okay, so if I ignore negative interactions, then PQR, even though they are supposed to be true at different points in time, they can all be made true in one state before this plan, and you can assume that they will persist as needed. All I'm saying is this assumption, it's an assumption, but this assumption is no worse than the assumption that's made in the relaxed plans. Okay, so then I take the PQR state, compute the relaxed plan for the PQR state, take the length, that would be the heuristic value for this plan, heuristic cost for this plan. Do you see what I'm saying? So open conditions almost take the place of regression states. The union of open conditions takes the place of regression state. Okay, that's one idea. The other idea that's helpful is that if you also have mutual exclusions propagated on the planning graph, then you have essentially found unsafe links that will become unsafe later, but they look as if they are not unsafe now, but they are dead anyway. So think about it this way. Currently, I have a link Si to Sj supporting P. There is an action which gives Q and requires R, and it can potentially come between Si and Sj. Is it threatening this link right now? No, because you would think it will threaten the link only if it is negative Q, negative P. So if it is deleting P, then it will threaten. But suppose in the planning graph, I found that P and Q are statically mutex. They're eternally mutex. That means the PQ mutex hasn't changed even at the level of level, which means they will never ever be doable together. It's not a length thing. It's just they are sworn enemies. And so is P and R mutex. It's either just P and Q are mutex or P and R is mutex. If any one of those pairs are mutex, then in essence, this is an unsafe link. So what is the planner which is ignoring this unsafe link doing? It will find it the hard way much later. You, on the other hand, because you know that P and Q are mutex, you can essentially realize that it's unsafe right now, so either you promote or demote or you cannot go forward. With those two ideas, at least back in 2001, partial order planners could be made competitive with the planning graph, the graph plan ideas and progression planner ideas. Okay, and then sometime later, they were then taken part. There is a planner called, I think, the one that Long did was called REPOP. And that's interesting because the reason the name is there is because there used to be a partial order planner called UCPOP. Universally quantified conditional effect partial order planner. Okay, and then when graph plan came, people started caring about it, and so when this guy did this, he had REPOP. We called it REPOP. Okay, and then back later in I think 2003, the same year, LPG won the competition. Another guy, I forget his name now, Hakan Yunus, did VHPOP, which is to some extent, to a large extent, essentially a C implementation of REPOP plus some interesting additional extensions. And it did not do well in that competition, but it was different from everybody else, so it was given the Best Newcomer Award, which is interesting in as much as if you realize that before the planning competition started, partial order planning was the mainstay. That was the old comer. Okay, and for the longest time nobody was doing Parshada planning, and then if you start doing it, then it becomes newcomer. This is what, you know, so if you take your great-great-grandfather's clothes and wear it tomorrow, you would get the Fashionista of the Year award, because nobody has seen people wearing it for a while and you will be the newcomer. Okay, but it's interesting to realize that these ideas can be actually used in Parshada planning too. In some cases, Parshada planning has advantages, and if the only reason you are not using is because it doesn't have good heuristic control, you can use it. Okay, so what we'll do next class is first 10, 15 or 20 minutes we'll talk about landmarks, and then we'll move on to the next major topic, which is Markov decision processes, for which you have to read the Markov decision processes chapter. Okay.